We are here with Chargers head football coach, Coach Mike Wheeler. Coach, first off, thanks for having us. And how was your summer as you get prepared for the game one?
Well, the summer was short. As always, I think it gets shorter every year. But from the standpoint of our summer workout programs, we thought it went good. Would have liked to had more kids here all the time, but we understand that our kids are going to travel and do things, and we feel like that the family is important, so we want them to go do that.
Obviously, coming off a state championship, that's 3 in a row. As you look to accomplish some goals so that you can have the opportunity to win another one, what has been the mindset, of like, are you trying to keep kids off, focusing off, hey, we're going to get a 4th in a row, or is it just like, hey, let's go out there and do the basics?
Yeah, well, it's hard to keep them from focusing on winning a 4th one, but as a coach, in reality, you've got to prepare for one game at a time. Because when you start thinking about something that's a long way off and you haven't played that first one, then you're probably going to overlook someone and someone's going to sneak up on you. And, coming back this year, we had 2 returning starters, and losing 18 seniors, we knew that we were going to be inexperienced and young, and so we know it's going to take some time, and it's going to take a lot of work on our kids to get up to the level that it's going to take to win a championship.
This year, as you move into it, you mentioned the loss of the 18 seniors. What are you looking for early from the kids that are taking on new roles?
Well, you want them to really play well to start out with, but as you learn from experience, that's not always the case. We're going to see just constant progression, I think, week in and week out, and our kids getting better. The big thing is you want them to go out and compete. And, we scrimmaged last week, and that was the second scrimmage. I felt like we competed better the second scrimmage than we did the first scrimmage, and hopefully each week we'll be better at competing, and then we'll start cleaning up things that, we're not doing well. But things that you don't want to see, but things that you're probably going to have to deal with is with a young team, is always trying to clean up some things. And we've already seen kids getting better from the 2 scrimmages, and our expectation is they'll continue to do that.
When you look at skill positions, and obviously you lost some key players, the line and the offensive line and things like that, but when you talk about a guy like Speedy Nettles and what he brought to the team, obviously we'll talk about his quarterback, Luke Carney, who's still here, and what he's trying to accomplish. But when you lose a player like Speedy Nettles, what is it that you say to the guys, or what is the coaching staff saying to try and replace or even just make up some of the production that he had?
Well, it's hard to make up his production, because he's just an outstanding player. He's one of those kids that don't come along very often. He was one of those kids that was dominant on the offensive side and the defensive side of the ball. But so, what do? You have to have multiple kids that are going to fill those spots and those roles. And right now we feel like we got some kids that can step up and fill those roles. It may not be the same individual production as a Will Nettles, but as a group, we feel like we can get the same production.
When you look into this season as you begin, I want you to talk about the schedule really quick, if you could, Coach, and just, how difficult it is to, number one, find teams that want to play, but, what do you try to accomplish when you're setting up this schedule?
I never worry about scrimmages because they're scrimmages, and we went into it wanting to have 2 scrimmages. We wanted to be against good competition because we felt like that our young kids needed to learn what good competition was and the level that they're going to have to play, and help them step their game up fast. The one thing I worry about with scheduling, everybody we play is so much bigger than we are. We don't play a school our size until we actually get to district play, and with your numbers, that we have to play kids both ways, and almost everybody we're going to play in the 5 non-district games are going to 2 platoon and have multiple kids. Like this Friday we're playing San Antonio Cornerstone. Well, they have 80 kids and they 2 platoon. And so they've got numbers that they can get their kids on and off the field. And with us, our kids are going to be playing offense, defense, and special teams. And with the weather the way it is, the heat, that's going to come into play. So our kids are going to have to be in better shape. But, scheduling is just so hard. When you win, nobody wants to play you. And so you're always having to play up in class and trying to find people to play.
Coach, I want to talk about your quarterback real quick, Luke Carney. He's been the starter here at Dallas Christian since his freshman year. 3 state championships, and it's not just his alone. There's lots of really good teammates and coaches that have helped that along the way. But what is it about him that's just made him special and here at Dallas Christian and a joy to coach?
Well, Luke's a great kid, number one. He's a smart young man. He does well in the classroom. And I think his intelligence helps him a lot on the football field. It's like having another coach. And, Luke can tell everyone on the field what to do, where to line up, how to do it. Sometimes I have to remind him, Luke, you got to remember that this person here, you need to remind every play. And but he's just intelligent. He's a competitor. He's a winner, and he's got great athletic ability. And you couldn't ask for a better quarterback to have for 4 years. And the one thing about it is you get to see him grow. He's grown so much as a player. But the thing that I'm most proud of is he's grown as a person and as a young man. And you can see that now going into his senior year and going from Dallas Christian on to Syracuse. I think he's going to have a great career.
When you talk about the amount of turnover that you had with seniors leaving, how important is it for guys like Luke to step up in a leadership role? What does the leadership role play, especially for a team like this year?
Well, leadership is really important. We have a slogan that's down on our weight room door, says, coach-led teams can be good, but player-led teams can win championships. And that's been a key for us, is having players that can be those examples and be the leaders of the team. And Luke has been a leader, but, we've talked about it over the off season that, hey, you're going to have to even step up more to be that kind of person. And Luke is more of a show you do it than a vocal leader, but he has become a whole lot more vocal this year and helping. And we got some other kids that have stepped up and taken on that role as well.
When you look at what's going on in the community and here at Dallas Christian and how special it is, how excited are you to line it up this Friday night in front of your home crowd?
Well, you're always worried, or you're worried and you're excited at the same time. For me, I guess people always ask me, how long are you going to do this? I said, I guess when I quit getting butterflies and getting ready to play. And I still get those. And it's just one of those things as a coach, you're ready for the season, you're excited about it, but then at the same time you're worried that, all right, are we prepared? Have we done this enough? Have we covered this enough? And, in reality, you never get to enough reps. And so you still have that worry and you still have those butterflies before the game. All right, you're dependent on some high school kids to go out and win the game. So, as coaches have been saying for years, you do your work as a coach during the week, and then on Friday night it becomes the kids. And we've been fortunate that our kids have stepped up to that level, and hopefully Friday night we'll see that again.
Coach, I'm sure you have a long list, and this is always a tough question to ask because we don't want to leave any kids out. But some kids that will really be maybe some names that are stepping up into new roles that you think are going to play a big factor in what you do this year.
Yeah, you always, when you start thinking about success, and I was one of those kids that never played offensive line or defensive line, but for some reason and somehow I became an offensive line coach and defensive line coach as I got into this profession. But, your offensive line and defensive line usually determines if you're going to win or lose. Your skill kids, they get all the attention and they're important. But the guys that kind of go unnoticed is those offensive linemen. And, we basically have a whole new offensive line now. and we really don't have a set starting five, but we have Gary Jefferson, who's outstanding. Luke Small, who's a sophomore stepping up. Brody Woodley, another sophomore stepping up. We have Jake Baker, another sophomore, is going to have to step up. We have Gage Dean and Andrew Solis, who are both juniors. So we have one senior and sophomores and juniors. And those kids now are having to flip over and play defensive line, and with a couple of seniors like Ramon Guillory and Ram Small. They're kids that work really hard, but they're going to be a key to us being successful.
Dallas Christian is a school, especially on the football field, that there's a tradition and expectation to win championships. You've got 11 of them, which is probably tied for the most in Texas high school football, or maybe one behind. I'm not sure where Alito stands.
Yeah.
But what determines success in your mind? Is it about that, or is it just about let's growing the kids, and is it a combination of both?
Well, it's a combination of both, but for people on the outside, it's wins and losses. That's success. And people that are listening to this would probably say that that's not true. But I tell every kid that ever comes to our school to meet with me, I said, we like to win, and you can see we've been successful. But our ultimate goal, and I truly believe this, for me and most of our coaches on staff, is we want to win ball games, but the most important thing is to help these kids team in with their parents and help them grow into young men who can grow not only as men, but in their faith, that can go out and be world changers. That's where you see success. And I've been fortunate. I have kids come back and they've been out of school 5 or 10 years, and you see what they're doing now and how they're impacting other people in the world, and it really makes you feel good. So a lot of times, those type of things, what success, you don't hear about it till later, but that's what we're all in it about, and I really truly believe that's what Dallas Christian is all about.
Head coach of the Dallas Christian Chargers, Coach, thank you for your time. I wish you all the best. I'm looking forward to being here Friday night, and wish you lots of health and wins this year along the way.
I appreciate that.